Hi guys, welcome to the JustMaths examination videos. In these series of videos, I'm going to be discussing the 11 plus entrance examination for mathematics in the UK. Now, since this is our first video, I wanted to go over some of the basics of what the 11 plus exam is for those students who are not familiar. Now, the first thing you need to understand is that when you're applying to all these different schools, the examination set can vary. The papers and the format of the papers can also be different. Some schools may have a totally multiple choice paper. Others will have a classic paper where you have to write the answers on the sheets given. And other schools may have a combination of both. Now, before you watch the videos, you need to find out which type of paper that your school sets. Now, initially I'm going to go through the paper itself and the exam technique I want you guys to approach with. Now, today we're going to be looking at the City of London 11 plus entrance examination. The paper itself is, pretty standard. Most papers will ask you to put your name down. You'll be given a candidate number that you put down as well. The most important thing that I've highlighted here is the time. Now, some papers may be 45 minutes, others may be an hour, and there are some that are even an hour and 15 minutes. And you need to find out which paper you're sitting, because the time allowed and the exam technique that you use can be different depending on how much time you're given. Now, some of the other basics that you need to understand, are just bring a blue or black pen, pencil, rubber eraser, use the paper given. But the most important thing here is that the time you're allowed. And also, the calculator. Some students I've seen, they'll bring calculators to papers, even though they're clearly not allowed to be used. Just make sure that you do not bring your calculator to the paper if it's clearly stated. Okay, so let's get started. Now, when you're looking at this paper, the first thing I want you to do is take a step back. Take a minute or two to go through the whole paper. Look at all the different questions. This is going to make you more comfortable with the paper itself. It's going to make you familiar with all the questions, and it'll help with your time management. Now, when I open a paper, I don't read it bit by bit all in one go. Look at question 1, look at question 2. What you should do is look at each question with an overview. Just give it a quick look. I've seen this before. I can do this question, and move on. And then look at the next question. That looks familiar as well. And maybe the next question, or maybe this is a long question. I need to spend a bit of time on this, so I'll hurry up. And there's another question, another question. So just like this, you go through the questions and you get a feel of what the questions are and how much time they might need. A question like this will be pretty quick to do. Whereas, a question that requires you to draw a diagram, look at all the different pieces, it's going to take a bit longer, so you should leave a bit of time for that. Now, the number of questions can vary as well. Some years they may have 16 questions or 18, however many. But when you start the paper, look at how many questions you have as well. That also gives you a good idea of how much time you need. And then you can start on the questions you think are the easiest. So now, starting with this first question here, most of these questions are pretty basic. And what you need to do is go through them as quick as you can, but not make any silly mistakes. That's one of the most common things that students do. They rush through and they make silly mistakes. Make sure that does not happen. Alright. Now I think we're ready to begin, so let's start.